Hello, I am Mauricio Renato de Paula Piccolo, and this is the final project presentation for the EDX course Cloud Computing for Enterprises. The topic of this presentation is Expanding to the Cloud. Here is the agenda of our meeting. We will discuss the basic characteristics of cloud computing, also some economic analysis including TCO and ROI, SWOT analysis, and the conclusions. XYZ Corporation is growing fast, but our technology state is static, maxed out, and inefficient. This brings risks to our customer experience as they can face bad application response time, which they could relate to bad product quality from our part. Expanding to cloud computing will give us the flexibility and time to market that the business needs to grow right now, while keeping costs under control. This will allow us to migrate and decommission the other owned data centers at a later time. Cloud computing is the opportunity to meet the customer needs, expand the business in a timely manner, and not losing customers. But what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is described as the usage of technology resources over the internet, such as networks, servers, storage, even applications and services, that can be quickly created or released with minimal effort. Those are also billed as the usage, so it's important to us that you don't have to pay in advance for creating any new data center facility. For the business, this is similar to consuming electricity from a power company. You pay for what you use, but you don't have to purchase all the equipment to generate the power. Cloud can be considered the evolution of on-premise data centers. No more need for local equipment hosted inside the company-owned network and buildings. What are the basic capabilities of the cloud? Cloud applications are generally less expensive, simple to manage, and much easier to update and use. These characteristics allows for faster product implementation, applications that are available from any device at any time over the internet, greater flexibility for our workforce and office management, and generally lower IT costs. Also, these services are widely available from the biggest and most renowned technology companies in the world, such as Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. And what are the advantages of cloud computing for our corporation? Well, first and foremost, we will have better time to market because of the agility in implementing new products. We will have better availability and mobility with the applications accessible from the internet from anywhere. And we will have much better control over costs because we will be paying only for the resources that we actually use. The disadvantages for us is that for a company with a technology footprint so big as ours, any migration work will be very complex. Also, we will have a shift of control on risks such as service interruptions to the cloud provider. And there is also some concerns on security and compliance that are required by data privacy laws, as security breaches on the vendor could affect us. For analyzing the business requirements, we can take a look at this graphic, which represents the difference between on-premises and cloud computing. Please keep in mind that our products are live and the demand has grown faster than the prediction, so agility to meet the market demand is key to us. On the blue line, you have the basic on-premises computing capacity when you purchase the equipment before having the customers. The gray line represents the forecast demand, and the red line represents the actual customer demand. Today, we have reached the state where our investments and the customer demand have met the same point, so we are operating at maximum capacity, and purchasing more hardware to expand our on-premises data center will take a considerable amount of time. This is a risk because during this time we can lose customers because they will have bad experiences with our products and they will be less engaging against the competition. So we have to take a measure to change the scenario. In the yellow line, you can see the typical cloud computing advanced scalability, where you only purchase for the capacity you need and very quickly. it's important that we can get to this point. For the analysis of economic implications and TCO, we can take a look at our current infrastructure, which is very big, and what would have happened to us if we had gone with cloud since day one. Below, you can see the Amazon TCO calculator, which uses updated and current standard values from the market best practices for both on-premises and cloud computing. By going with on-premises, our cost was 8.3 million over 3 years, and using the same capacity in cloud resources would have costed us only $4 million. This means we could have had a saving of $4.3 million in 3 years. But that's not our scenario anymore. We have to consider that for the first option, we could do a full migration to the cloud. Because of the already existing um, technology footprint, we would have to consider a cost of at least 50% of the value to do the actual migration. This is required because we will have to convert a lot of applications and our staff is not yet ready to do it without consulting vendors or companies. The actual cost of investment will be the migration work plus the cloud hosting work at $8 million, with a gain from investment on the savings only about $4 million, giving a return on investment of minus 45%. This is not a good option. The second option is stay as is. However, this means we will lose customers because no investments were done. Below are the operating costs for ROI considerations, considering 5% revenue drop each year, fixed from our current revenue by the year. So the cost of investment will be only $1 million for 3 years with 1.5 million revenue drop. So this will give us a return on investment of minus 251%. The third option is expanding to the cloud. This means only hiring the needed capacity to actually meet the customer demand. And the calculation shows us that 30% increase in our technology state will be enough, considering we keep the existing data centers for some additional time. Also, this will allow for smoother and cheaper migrations in the future, because our staff will be able to do most of the work under business as usual without requiring external vendors. The cost of investment in this case is the operating cost of the on-premise data center plus the cloud costs at 2.3 million. We will have the cloud savings and actually keeping the revenue in this scenario because we will not lose customers at 2.8 million for 3 years. And this gives us a return on investment of 20%. For more detailed TCO costs, you can see the attached TCO calculation results from Amazon. The SWOT analysis shows us that our strength is that we have a good IT staff that keeps the on-premise operation running smoothly. However, that is also our weakness because they do not know how cloud operations work yet. So to transform this in an opportunity, we have to train our internal staff on how to work with cloud computing. The threat that's related to these opportunities is that we may face resistance to adopt new culture from people. So we will need to work on corporate culture to ensure that cloud adoption and enable our staff to evolve. This will allow us to make the transition much easier and cheaper. The final conclusion is that we need to work on the corporate culture to engage IT staff on cloud adoption, as this will enable us to make a smoother transition in a few years' time. We also need to make an immediate expansion to the cloud computing with minimal investments, but keeping our customers satisfied and avoiding revenue drops. Future opportunities will appear for new products, as the life cycle for product deployment will be much faster under the cloud model. Thank you very much and goodbye.